Time for to let the imagination run wild. Lo-fi. Can they help it? Okay, I finally found, I've got a teen, Johnny Devlin. This is my inspiration for my imaginary famous Kiwi Aussie pop star. But Johnny Devlin's the template for that today. I'll actually show that. I got it at the Teen Record label, and I finally got a bag. I found one and to put them together. I mean, I'm all excited. I don't know why, but because it's a shit record, and everything Johnny Devlin did was absolute fucking shit. He was like an extremely poor Elvis impersonator, extremely poor. But so I've decided to sort of, I don't know, give the impression of what it was really like back in the 50s, early 60s down here and down at the bottom of the world. So I've come up with my imaginary pop star, Digby Rigby, or known as Dig the Rig to the groupies. Yeah, he was born in a town called Dunedoo, about 5 miles from Bullmacanka. His father was a railway ganger. His mother was a waitress in a cafe. He briefly went to Sydney, got in with the wrong crowd, walked around with a sore bum for about a week or two. Got a job working in a department store as a mannequin. He had a morning tea break at 11 and an afternoon tea break at 3. So, yeah, he later in life he suffered terribly from fallen arches and what they call it, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, from that job at Thrace Brothers, famous Sydney Emporium. Yeah, he had his first hit with "I'm Gonna Smash Your Face In Tonight, You Cunt," and the B-side, the pretty Pumpkin Farmer's Pretty Daughter. It was a minor hit, got to about number 38 in a town called Wanga Wanga Wooey in New Zealand, population 5. He stowed away on a ship, what do you call it, a trawler, and with about 500 cannibal Maoris, and they all came over here and then ran every which way all over the place. No one could find them. You usually find them driving forklifts and things in factories in the western suburbs of Sydney. Oh, not them, but their great-great-grandchildren. And so Digby, how did Digby Rigby escape from New Zealand to Australia? What am I talking about? Digby Rigby is an Aussie through and through. My imagination's getting a little bit, I think it's not imagination, I think it's fucking, you know what I'm talking about, Alzheimer's. So, yeah, Digby Rigby never went to New Zealand. Oh, that's right, he had a hit in New Zealand, silly me. So, the trawler thing didn't happen. There was something the publicity department put out to try and sell more records in New Zealand, see what I mean? Yeah, now you got it. Now you're getting the drift. So am I, thank Christ. Yeah, so Digby Rigby, yeah, gonna smash your face in tonight, you cunt. Back with the Pumpkin Farmer's Pretty Daughter. The Pumpkin Farmer's Pretty Daughter got to number 1 in Sydney. Incredible, really. Yeah, very sort of soppy ballad. Wasn't a hit anywhere else, like Dunedoo's in New South Wales. So, I mean, he was never accepted in Queensland because of the mannequin thing and the walking around with a sore bottom. That just didn't help up there. He was accepted in Tasmania because that sort of thing's quite normal down there. You know, like there's lots of pretty pumpkin farmers' daughters down there with two heads and going to smash your face in the night, you cunt. Well, that's just about all Tasmanians can say to each other. How you going, mate? Going to smash your fucking face. You know what I mean? It's Tasmania. I prefer its original name, Van Diemen's Land, but spelled D-E-M-O-N. Yeah, I think it's the only country on earth where they managed to totally eradicate the native population. Well done, boys. You got to remember, it wasn't Aussies that were doing that. It was Pommy bastards, right? You know, fucking Mad King George III's lost the American colonies and started sending all his convicts down to poor old Terra Australis. All the kangaroos and wombats and koala bears were happily coexisting with the abos, and suddenly Whitey arrives and the whole place is up fucking shit creek. So, yeah, anyway, Digby Rigby, yeah, he sort of moves through the, just sort of, he had his huge hit with the Pretty Pumpkins Farmer's Daughter, but then it sort of started to go a bit downhill. He hadn't hit the clubs yet, but he sort of was just lurking in the background like he was in the surf band, but he wore a disguise like a blonde wig or something, and he was just sort of playing the marimbas and that. No one recognised him. Then he moved through the psychedelic era, had a hit, once again, not as Digby Rigby, but as they were called the, what were they called? The Purple Bananas. And, Purple, that's right, they put out an album actually, The Purple Bananas, and the album was called Purple Banana Custard Pie. And it's pretty good, you know, lots of phasing, but nothing else, you know, just wishing, wash, noises going everywhere with a bit of sitar, you know, it was sort of, yeah, it was great, but that was the end of that. Anyway, he ended up, he had a pretty big resurgence in the punk, late 70s in the punk, with Gonna Smash Your Fucking Face In. You can't, actually got to the top of the indie charts, and for a while there he was like looked up upon as like the godfather of punk in Australia, but that didn't last because the punk thing died as quick as it, you know, it arrived and it went just like that. He tried the new romantic thing, so he did a new version of the Pumpkin Farmer's Pretty Daughter, with sort of like electronica, you know, didn't do diddly squat, but yeah, to finish up, it's getting time. Yeah, so yeah, Digby Rigby, he's still alive. He was doing the sea cruises out into the Pacific Islands, you know, where they put all the people on a boat and they all get massive diarrhea and vomiting. That's not from the food, that's from the entertainment on board the ship. Digby Rigby. Bye for now.